You have tried the crash diets, the 2-week shreds, and all of those miracle fixes that promise you the world, and every single time you end up right back where you started, feeling defeated and maybe even a little bit more broken. What if I told you that the secret to finally breaking that cycle isn't some brand new, extreme shiny plan, but a simple, powerful shift in your everyday life? And in this video I'm going to share these small tweaks that made my own weight loss stick for good and how you can use them to get the same lasting results. So let's get right into it. That feeling of being in a hamster wheel is just ultra exhausting, isn't it? You get a huge surge of motivation, throw out all of the junk food and commit to a brutal plan for a week or maybe even 2. You might even see the number on the scale go down, but let's be honest, it's not sustainable. Life gets in the way, a stressful day at work, a birthday party, or maybe just pure exhaustion. And before you know it, you're right back where you began. Only now you are carrying the extra weight of frustration and blaming yourself. And this cycle of yo-yo dieting, it doesn't just mess with your morale, it can also be tough on your body, because when you lose and regain the weight over and over again, it can trigger a long-term slowdown of your metabolism. This up and down cycle can also disrupt your hormones that regulate hunger and fat storage. It also creates this story in your head that you are the problem, that you don't have enough willpower. But that's not really the truth. The problem most likely is not you, but the method that people are pushing on you and that you find online. Quick fixes are practically designed to fail because they are built on restriction and not on real life. And for the longest time I was also stuck in this stupid cycle of trying new shiny stuff. But the real turning point for me and for a lot of other people who have successfully kept the weight off was this light bulb moment, this aha moment where consistency will always beat intensity. It's not about this one perfect day of eating or one single killer workout that you are doing. It's more about being pretty good most of the time, and it's about showing up for yourself in small ways, day after day, week after week, month after month. And that is how real, lasting transformation actually happens. And usually people who lose a consistent amount of weight each week have way more long-term success than those whose weight actually fluctuates up and down, even if they lost more weight in a single week. And the key takeaway is that steadiness wins the race and not the crash diet. This is because you're not just shedding pounds, you're actually building habits that are lasting. You're building a new lifestyle, and you're not just putting a temporary pause on calories. Lasting change is about creating habits that support your body and your health for the long term. It's a whole new way of living, and like always, it's a marathon and it is not a sprint. But how do we actually build this kind of crazy consistency that it becomes our new identity and lifestyle? It all starts with a clear, manageable plan, and the foundation of any good plan obviously is setting the right goals. You should forget about vague wishes like I want to lose weight. We need to get very specific with SMART goals. And in this case, SMRT stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. So instead of saying I'll exercise more, a SMART goal would be I will walk for 20 minutes, 3 days this week, right after dinner. And you already see the difference here. It's specific because it is walking. It is measurable because we are walking for 20 minutes, 3 days this week. Also, it's very achievable because this is not a marathon, it's just simple walking. It is relevant because it helps your health goals. And also it is time-bound because we are saying we are doing it this week. And when you're just getting started, limit yourself to just 2 or 3 of these super small goals. Trying to change everything all at once is a fast track to a burnout and you will just quit. So maybe your first 2 goals are drink a glass of water before every single meal. The second one could be add 1 more serving of protein to your lunch or dinner. Once those small actions start feeling like second nature, then you can add more on top of that. And the point here is to build momentum. Every time you nail one of these small goals, you will build confidence that you are actually sticking to a plan and that you can do it. And this is how you build a very powerful foundation for your new lifestyle, one small consistent step at a time. Now we have to talk about tracking your progress. If you would want to build a house, you have to take measurements and you need to do a lot of stuff to actually build the proper house. And the same is true for your fitness journey. Planning and tracking isn't about judgment or aiming for perfection. It should just be about awareness and data. And consistently logging your progress, that is one of the most powerful things that you could do for your long-term success. The first thing to consider is a food journal. Writing down what you're eating and maybe even how you were feeling at the time can be incredibly revealing. You start to see patterns that you would normally never notice. Maybe you realize that you're always craving a sugary snack at around 3 p.m. because you are stressed and not necessarily hungry. And that awareness is the first step to changing your behavior. The second thing to consider is a weight scale and just weighing yourself. And I know that this can be a very touchy subject for a lot of people, but regular self-weighing is strongly linked to losing weight and keeping it off. And weekly weigh-ins are already really good, but the benefits from daily weighings are superior. The most important thing here is to find something that works for you and to start seeing the scale just as another data point and not as a measurement of your self-worth. Your weight will fluctuate daily from things like water, salt, and hormones, and that is totally normal. By weighing yourself consistently, you will learn to see past these normal fluctuations, and then you can focus on the overall downward trend. And finally, you should start tracking more than just your weight. And this is where we celebrate the non-scale victories. Maybe your clothes are feeling looser, maybe you have more energy to play with your kids, or you're just sleeping better. And these are powerful signs of progress that the scale cannot really measure. You should keep a list of these small wins in a journal. And on days when the scale is being stubborn or it even goes up, then this list will be your proof that your hard work is paying off in ways that truly matter. And this is also why I'm such a big believer in not trying to do this alone. Consistency is really hard, especially when you are surrounded by people who think that burnout, fatigue, and giving up is just part of the process. And that's exactly why I created a private community for everyone who wants to lose fat, build strength, and stay consistent, but without all of the extremes and quick fixes. If you want a simple system, real structure, and accountability, and to be around people who are already putting in the work, the link is in the description. Consistency is built on routines, the small actions that then become your lifestyle, and we are going to break it down into 3 key areas: your diet, exercise, and recovery. First, let's start with your diet. And this is not about restriction, it's just about additions and smarter swaps. You can start by focusing on adding more whole, nutrient-dense foods, and they should mostly be one ingredient foods. Try to incorporate some more fruits, and make sure that you are getting enough protein and fiber with every single meal, because that will keep you feeling full and satisfied, which helps you reduce your cravings. Simple swaps can make a huge difference. For some people, already switching from white bread to whole grains makes a lot of difference. Then we have sugary drinks that you can just replace with sparkling water with a bit of lemon. And you don't have to give up your favorite foods forever or anything, but you can learn to enjoy them in moderation and making them a sometimes food rather than an all the time food. Let's talk about the second important thing, your exercises. And first up, you do not need to spend hours in the gym. The goal is to find movements that you are actually enjoying, because that's what you will also stick to. You can even break this up to smaller 10 to 15 minutes chunks where you're doing a brisk walk on your lunch break, maybe a bike ride after work, or just a dance party in your living room. It all counts. And also try to incorporate strength training. Building muscle is a game changer because it boosts your metabolism, meaning that you're burning more calories even when you are resting. And there's something really important called NEAT, and that is the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's all the movement that you are doing that isn't formal exercises. For example, taking the stairs, parking a little farther away, or just simply standing up when you are taking a phone call. And all those little things, they really add up over time. And let's talk about the third important thing, sleep and stress management. And this is the part that everyone seems to really underestimate. Poor sleep and chronic stress, they are really messing with your weight loss. When you are tired and stressed, your body can produce more cortisol, and that one is the hormone that actually increases your cravings, and it also encourages your body to store a lot more fat, particularly around your abdomen where we don't want to have it. And prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night is actually a non-negotiable. You should also try to find healthy ways to manage your stress levels that do not necessarily involve any food. Could be, for example, journaling, meditating, deep breathing, or maybe just taking a small walk outside. And these small things can help you build up a little bit of resistance against the stress and prevent emotional eating. Alright, let's talk about rebounds and how to handle setbacks. And this might be the most important part of the entire video, because you will have those setbacks and you will have a day where you're eating way too much cake and you're blowing all of your calorie targets, and you will even have entire weeks where you're going to miss your workouts. And the funny part about this is that it's not a failure. It is just a normal and very expected part of being a human. But the difference between someone who succeeds in the long run and someone who doesn't is how they handle those moments. You have to completely destroy the all or nothing mentality. One off-plan meal does not ruin your progress. It's just one meal after all. Your old mindset would say something like this: well, I've already blown it today. I might as well eat whatever I want now, and then I just simply start over on Monday. But your new consistency mindset will say this: okay, that happened and it was very delicious. Now, what's my plan for the very next meal? You get right back on track with no guilt and shame. When you hit a plateau or have a bad week, look at it as a feedback and not as a failure. Just ask yourself what was different this time. Have you been more stressed? Maybe did you sleep less? And you can use this as a chance to just learn out of that. This is where having a growth mindset is so important. A growth mindset is the belief that you can improve with dedication and hard work, and every single challenge is seen as an opportunity to learn and not as a proof that you can't do it. And finally, find some accountability. And this could be a friend, a family member, or an online community. Sharing your goals and checking in with someone makes you far more likely to stick with them. They can be your cheerleader on the good days and your support system on the tough ones. And if you want me to be your cheerleader, the link is in the description. The journey of sustainable weight loss is definitely not a straight line. It's more of a messy road with a lot of ups, but also a lot of downs. And the only thing that will carry you through all of the hard times and all of the demotivation that you will face is actually consistency. It's the small promises you keep to yourself every single day. So do yourself the favor and stop looking for the next quick fix. The most powerful strategy is the one that you can see yourself sticking with for life. It's always about progress and not perfection. It's about building a lifestyle that makes you feel strong, energized, and proud of yourself. And you definitely have the power to break the cycle of yo-yo diets. And it starts today with one small consistent choice, and then another one tomorrow and the day after. And you definitely got this. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.